So you are a center or focal point, or somehow you tend to attract UFOs. Is that if Betty Hill wants to see a UFO and puts her mind to it, UFOs will come?
No, no. But sometimes I say that I think it's almost like a atmospheric change of some kind. I can be sitting here, and I can UFO go over the window, and there it is.
Okay, so you have a feeling. There's something, an urging.
Maybe it disturbs the air currents or something
that you're
that I
sensitive to that.
recognize.
Just briefly, back to Roswell. So your take on Roswell is, did that incident happen or not, or is the point moot? It's not even worth discussing.
Oh, I think a UFO crashed. Yeah, and I think it was recovered. No, I don't know if bodies were recovered or not.
Well,
but I think a craft was.
Well, bodies weren't recovered. It was either A, remote controlled, or B, they were picked up by a safety rescue flying saucer.
It could have been, okay, because we had a UFO crash here.
Where's here?
In my area.
In southern New Hampshire.
And I went out there and all the people running, UFO crash. Oh, maybe we ought to call the military. Maybe we ought to call the police. And I said, no, go home and leave them alone. If it crashed, and there's anybody alive on it, let the others come in and rescue them.
Can I ask you where this happened and when?
Very close to the picture.
Southern New Hampshire again, that's all we'll get. But what time, what year, it's something like this, and does CSETI know about this, that has a catalog of flying saucer crashes?
This was never reported.
And guess what year?
And the next day, I went out with a neurosurgeon from Pease Air Force Base, thinking that if it crashed, and if one was killed, they might have left the body behind. And we searched the whole area. Because if we could find the body, we're going to bring it back and put it in my freezer. And he was going to do an autopsy.
Oh.
And then we were going to call the whole world to come in and see it.
That's right. Ray Santilli included, the British guy who...
But we didn't find any bodies.
So...
But we did find where it crashed.
What year was it?
I don't know.
60s, 70s?
70s, I would
70s.
say.
Okay, so do you remember when the people were coming running out of the woods, did you see any object impacted? Did you see any glow?
No, but what happened is when the UFO, okay, this man is stopped at a stop sign. And the UFO came crashing right straight down, just missed his truck. And then it went along through the woods and it cut the trees right off. And this place probably 25 feet wide. And this is what everybody's running after the UFO, following where all these trees are crashing down. And that's when I got them all to come back and go home and forget it.
So, UFO crashes are frequent then?
Well, I think probably quite often a craft malfunctions. And then they get out and you repair it and take off.
Do you think the military has ever shot down a UFO? Leah Haley in Pensacola, Florida, claims to have been on board, abducted by a UFO that was shot down by an electromagnetic pulse beam weapon by the United States Air Force in Eglin Air Force Base. You don't buy that at all?
No. I know that they shot a piece off from a UFO. And they send it outside this country to be analyzed. And the scientists in that country were not able to analyze it. And so the scientists took it and packed it away up in his attic. And in 1975, the CIA called and said, send it back. So they had to go up in the attic. It's sputtering. Got to go up there, go through all those boxes, get that damn piece out, send it back.
Parts are coming forward now to the International UFO Museum in Roswell, some claiming to be of extraterrestrial origin. Some has been traced back to just a China or pottery maker in Denver, Colorado. I saw the pieces of debris. It looked to be some sort of piece off the bumper of a Volkswagen, in my opinion. You've got the charlatans, the hoaxers, that are going to come forward and say that this is a piece of a UFO when it indeed is not. And then you have other pieces of material that have an odd metallurgy to them, an odd atomic and isotopic structure. So what you're saying
I've had stuff analyzed that I've picked up from UFOs. Most of the stuff, no matter what it looks like or feels like, The puzzling thing is it dissolves in water. That they can't figure out.
Almost, is it gelatin-like substance?
Oh, no, it just falls apart. And it's like, melts like.
Do you think the UFOs are seen over military bases more, over high mineral content areas more, over anomalous magnetic areas? What's your take? You mentioned prior to going on the air here about them emanating from the Arctic Circle.
Yeah, well, here, because we did have Pease Air Force Base, but we haven't had it since the 1980s sometime.
Pease was a Strategic Air Command
Right.
depot. There weren't nuclear weapons on site.
Yeah.
There
the
are
UFOs used to come in over the nuclear weapons, and the MPs used to go out with their blue lights flashing, and then the UFOs would take off.
Ordered
The
not
police would leave, and the UFOs would come back. So after a while, they just left them alone.
early on. So this was frequent at Pease Air Force
Oh,
Base.
yeah.
So early on, I'm sure they scrambled fighters, but after a while, they decided that it was just a waste of time, and that.
Well, sometimes they'd send planes up to just follow them, see where they're going. What are they doing?
But not in an offensive
No,
attack
I don't-
posture, just in a reconnaissance posture.
I think just looking for information. I don't think Pease went around shooting at them.
So
Everybody in New Hampshire would be screaming.
that's right. They call attention onto themselves. So Betty, they come. Do you agree then with that assessment that UFOs are seen over sensitive military installations that deal with nuclear weapons, high mineral content areas,
Here, they follow rivers.
for navigation?
They follow rivers. And they used to follow railroad tracks, but not so much now. Because we don't have that many railroads.
So they did need lines of navigation.
Right.
Okay.
And our pilots have told me that maybe the reason they come in here so often is when they're flying in, and you look down and you see Cape Cod, the shape of the land.
Mm-hmm.
There's no other place in the world with the land shaped in that pattern.
That's correct.
And so maybe that's why they come in here. It's easy to identify,
From outer space.
right?
Let's talk about the alien subculture. I've seen the alien interview film that supposedly emanated from Area 51, where they have this bulbous head entity. Frankly, it looks like one of Jim Henson's mutated Muppets, but they have this bulbous entity in this enclosure, and some sort of scientist or doctor trying to communicate with this entity. It has convulsion and collapses. You've seen the Russian flying saucer crash footage that came out on TNT a few years ago, along with the Sverdlovsk midget, which was a cadaver apparently recovered by the Soviets, and then you have the famous alien autopsy footage. So,
Okay, I saw the one of the small craft that crashed in the Soviet Union. I saw that on TV, where they recovered the bodies.
right.
I believe it.
So you believe in
Yeah.
aliens. My take is if there are UFO crashes, then there have to be occupants. If there are occupants, some have to be dead, some have to be alive. If they're dead, then they have to be autopsied. If they autopsied, you can bet that the military is going to film them. Hence, there is autopsy footage. The question begs, is the alien autopsy footage that was circulated 4 years ago by Ray Santilli, do you believe that to be authentic or not? Do you know?
Actually, that body looks more like the astronauts
That you
than
saw.
any other pictures I've seen.
Very good point. I never correlated that, but that cadaver
It looks more
it looks
like-
very similar to, what's our friend's name again here?
Junior.
Junior. Yeah, it does look very similar to
Right.
Junior.
In fact, we saw a UFO person that looked very much like the one in that film.
Where did you see this? On board the craft when
Yeah.
you were taking? Okay, okay. So
And I think in the film they said it was a woman. And the
Right,
autopsy.
right.
Well, see, if you really look at them, there's no way to tell male from that.
they're eunuch almost, neither male nor
Right.
female.
I mean, how are you going to wear earrings if you don't have protruded
Sure,
body ears?
sure. That's right. That'd be hurt your cheeks, wouldn't it?
Right, and no curls.
That's right.
If you have no hair, you have no
Right.
curls.
And no need for conditioner or rinses either.
Right.
So let's talk about government interference. Government has never interfered with your life. They haven't stalked on you. In fact, they've been just the opposite. The government has been kind to Betty Hill, always inquiring about information, cordial, never threatening.